Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's me, Jamie. I just had a new idea for our song about the Name Your Price tool. So when it's like, tell us what you want to pay, hey, 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 and the trombone goes, blah, 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 and you say, we'll help you find coverage options to fit your budget. Then we just all do finger snaps while a choir goes, savings coming at ya, savings coming at ya. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway, see your practice tonight. I got new lyrics for the rap break.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hello, Wildcats. It's your boy Kev coming at you with episode 100. So unexpected, so crazy, like that time Axl Rose used the N-word in the song 1 in a Million. I didn't expect that to be in there, but it was. And it probably shouldn't have been. But anyways, this is just a disclaimer to let you know that we are a comedy and crime podcast. So even though we do cover many serious cases and true events, we do like to throw in some inappropriate jokes and some dark humor. And we completely understand that some people don't like to combine comedy and crime, and we can get behind that. That's completely understandable. That's just not how we do things over here, much like Axl Rose in the song 1 in a Million, where he unexpectedly uses the F-A-G word, and it kind of just comes out of nowhere. I forget the point I'm trying to make. But anyways, thank you everyone for listening. Be good, stay safe, and laugh at the dark stuff. Hashtag Wildman.
All right, fellas, like we practiced.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Come on down. Come on down. Hanging with the brothers tonight, yeah. Come on down to the Brothers Commonplace tonight.
Dad, you left shit stains on the toilet again.
Sorry, Kev.
Alrighty, welcome everyone to the Brothers Commonplace, a comedy and crime podcast where we cover monsters, murders, mysteries, and more. And before we get into today's episode 100 extravaganza, I want y'all to meet my favorite little critter getters.
I like that.
Laugh in the background like the one drunk guy at like a fucking comedy show.
Because I watched the Critter Getters when I was a kid.
Oh,
fuck yeah.
Dude, fuck yeah. Thank you, Spence.
I remember the name, but I don't remember like anything about it. What's going on, guys? This is Tim, and I was actually kind of having issues coming up with my opening. It took me a little while. And I just couldn't think of anything edgy or funny and you know, like not the gold that I normally put out. So finally I was like, you know what? Just make a name that's just like, you know, jammed together name of your favorite things from the 90s. So what's going on, guys? This is Tim or Scottie Pippen Longstocking.
Fuck yeah, dude. I like that one.
So there's just my two favorite things, Scottie Pippen and Pippi Longstocking.
What does Pippi Longstocking do? Like, what is she? Is she just Red Riding Hood?
Yeah, Tim's got some really cute pigtails he's showing off now.
Yeah, so does Amy Schumer. Oh, wait, that's just one pigtail.
But, yeah, that's the only things I like from the 90s.
The only thing.
Yeah, nothing else.
10 fingers, 2 fists, punching your fucking head off. It's the tooth.
Oh my God. I didn't know that was your intro. I didn't know what was going on.
What's up, everyone? This is Spence, and I just wanted to point out this week that our listeners are going to be like furries who dress as Winnie the Pooh characters because they're going to have 100-episode wood.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm getting that now. Yeah, 100-episode wood. I like that.
Or like the old Roman soldiers divided by 3. 100.
Oh.
Well, actually, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Oh God, yeah, I messed that up, huh?
It's the Spartans, but that's okay. The Romans had centurions who were commanders over 100. So we're
Whoa, they had horse bottoms?
Yeah.
Listen,
Yes, exactly. Like Leslie Knope.
All right. I guess I will do my intro real quick.
Holy shit. Fuck yes. What the fuck?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. It was so hard to be quiet that whole time.
Fuck yeah. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, bro?
Holy shit. I was so confused at first. What's up, buddy?
Good. Not much, man. All right. I had to explain something to you guys. Well, it's been a long ass time since I've been here. I've been on a little Fig Newton binge for the last year on my search for I've been looking for, my old buddy, our big tall black friend Rico motherfucking Harris.
Oh, hell yes.
And I've been looking for him for a long time. And I got lost. And the only thing I had with me was a little blanket. And I rolled up in it. And all I had was some Fig Newtons. And I got stuck. So they just called me Figs in a Blanket.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
Hell yes.
I have a question.
Hey, what do they call all of us when we're wrapped in a blanket?
I don't know.
Kids in a blanket.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, man. Oh. Hey, who is this random ass guy?
Oh, yes.
He's the Balscar fucking guy with the spatula.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
And it's your boy Kev, a.k.a. the Dirty Dog, or as they call me when I play Jared Fogle in that musical, The Diddler on the Roof.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Gosh.
yeah, dude.
He played the flute, the skin flute.
Oh, hell yeah, he did.
Maybe he's the one they sent to off Epstein.
Fuck yeah,
They
dude.
could have.
I was saying, then Kevin laid on top of me, and he was Diddler on the tooth.
Oh, yes,
hell
I
yeah.
was.
Fuck yeah.
Now, before we start this, I am going to go check because we have to record in separate rooms. So I'm going to go check and make sure his thing's all looking good. I'll be right back.
Oh, I'll bet his thing's looking real good.
Yeah, fucking pecker checker Kev.
Dude, I've been shaving it every 6 or 7 months, but I only shave it in Mr. T looking. So I shave lines around it, so it looks
hell
like a
yeah.
drag strip.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Prove it.
It's good to be back for the 100th episode, motherfuckers.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
We needed you, man.
Oh, I'm so fucking horny, baby.
I gotta go piss. He made me too excited in my pee.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. The energy is through the roof right now.
Andrew, fuck yeah.
You're American before you go in the bathroom. In the bathroom, European.
Oh, hell yeah.
Good old dad jokes, Kev.
Sorry, guys.
Hello? Mom, are you there? Yeah, I was calling to tell you that I don't need you to sing me my fucking bedtime stories anymore, because I got fucking Andrew back, baby! Bye!
Oh, what's that? You love me? Oh, wow, that's real fucking cute. We have a kid on the way? I don't give a fuck. I got Andrew, you dumb bitch.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I always make your guys' nuts either shrivel or drop. That's just what I do when I'm here.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Alrighty, boys, here we go. The big one. The big 100. And by coincidence, episode 100 just happens to co-align with the 20th anniversary of the Gathering of the Juggalos.
Hell
And
yeah.
some may even say that both sides had this plan since the very beginning.
I mean, Andrew was involved, so they did.
Yeah, usually I always do everything in increments of 20, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Kevin.
That makes sense because we got Andrew here. Well, Violent J worships the butterfly, and Andrew worships the stutter guy. God damn, that's so bad. Please delete it.
No, I'll keep it. I want it in.
I wanted it.
Today's case, it's one that hits close to home. As a matter of fact, it happened right here in our home. And I know a lot of the top and bigger true crime podcasts have already covered this topic, but one thing that's different between them and us is that we all lived within 30 seconds of this guy.
Yeah, we all lived with this guy.
We haven't had him on the podcast in a long time, but he's here today.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Andrew. Fuck yeah.
I was allowed to have at least, about an hour and a half of leave so I could come and hang out with you guys. So yeah, fuck yeah.
So that is right. Straight from our hometown of Ashland, Ohio, we dedicate episode 100 to this giant pile of donkey shit by the name of Shawn Grate.
Whoa, I thought it was Sean William Scott.
Wait, don't let Andrew know that's not Sean William Scott, dude. He's going to leave.
So we have Shawn Grate, and I'm going to go ahead and get this joke out of the way. but more like Shawn not so great.
Yeah,
as we're gonna find
happen.
out. But yeah, that's right. Mine and Spence's first apartment was like 30 seconds down the road from this dude. Tim lived at the literal next door home to the BP gas station where Shawn picks up one of his victims. Toof lived like a minute away at one point. We all lived like surrounding where this dude did his shit.
We all helped him gather his victims.
No, we didn't do
that. That wasn't. We didn't grab victims.
And I know it's too early to tell whether it was us or him, but something did bring the property value down around where we were all living. So hopefully by the end of this podcast, we'll figure that out.
It's probably a little bit of both, honestly.
And now for our sources, we used Ashland Gazette, Mansfield News Journal, Washington Post, pretty much all the newspapers and news websites from Northeast Ohio. Pretty much all those we touched on. The interview that we'll talk about a little bit later is from Channel 19. But yeah, most of this came from newspapers and all the Northeast Ohio news channels and things like that. So
crazy. Like, this is the first time where we can kind of just go with our own experience too. Like what happened, like it happened so close and stuff. Like we pretty much know what we were doing those days.
Yeah, and a lot of these places are places that we went to like
a lot.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty crazy to talk about. Sorry, my dad just stopped by. All right, thanks for coming in, Dad. I'll see you later. Jeffrey Epstein was innocent. All right. He was a goddamn good man.
Your dad always says the funniest stuff.
My dad was actually reading out of the book word for word. Kids say the darndest things.
Written by Bill Cosby.
Oh my God, yes.
Fuck yeah.
So good.
So, alrighty, before we get this case going, we are going to start with a couple quotes. And here's a quote from one of Shawn's neighbors growing up, so just a little something to think about while we talk about the case. Quote, "He was one of my best friends growing up. I knew him from the time I was 5 years old. We grew up together. We were neighbors. We went to school together. We used to play backyard football. We used to play softball. They were like my brothers. I love the family." So that is about Shawn and his brother.
Yeah.
And another quote from a different friend. "He was always charming. He was always smiling, and he had those big blue eyes. All the girls like Shawn."
Probably
Shawn
not
Michaels.
so much anymore.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I heard that the whole family really thought he was pretty great.
All right. I'll give you points for that one.
Do you know what Shawn's favorite toothpaste was? Yeah, it was Colgate.
And that's the thing is, Shawn, he wasn't a bad-looking dude at all. And I know this sounds weird, but if you look at his last mugshot, like the mugshot from when they actually brought him in for everything, he's a pretty good-looking dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you look through some of his other pictures, and he fluctuates a lot. Like, he goes from looking like pretty beat to real skinny to putting on weight to skinny. Like, he fluctuates a lot, but overall, he's not a bad-looking dude, and everyone says he was, like, really charming and stuff. So it has a little bit of Ted Bundy going on.
And Violent J. I was thinking and Violent J with the weight fluctuation and good looks.
Oh, yeah.
And Shawn, he would kind of end up being a sort of Jekyll and Hyde type of person, and he would be classified as a power/control killer. So that is the type of person we're going to be talking about. So anything you guys want to mention before we actually jump into the case?
I don't think so.
I have a huge question. I saw a picture of Shawn Grate, and he's carrying a box around. Does that mean he's actually Shawn Crate?
God damn it. So Shawn Michael Grate, born August 8th, 1976, with his hometown being Marion, Ohio.
Wait, is his real middle name actually Michael?
Yeah. His mother's name was Teresa McFarlane, and his father's name was Terry Grate. And in 1982, when Shawn was 6 years old, his mother would divorce his father, and then Teresa, she would then give up custody of Shawn and his brother Ronald to their father Terry, but that wouldn't be till 12 years later in 1994, which I don't fully understand because Shawn was turning 18 2 months after this.
Yeah, that doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah, I don't really know why they'd give up custody to him for that.
For the taxes, they want the money.
The motherfucking money.
And then we come to November 24th, 1994, at the age of 18, when Shawn has his first arrest that we know about. Does anyone want to guess the reason?
Lemonade stand.
Jacking off at work.
No,
Shoplifting crayons.
no, that was
Shawn
me too.
Shawn Bate.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So keep in mind that he's still in high school at this point, and he is dating a girl. Well, she isn't happy with the relationship because of past physical abuse by him. So she's telling him that it's over and she's leaving him. And she's been trying to leave him for a couple months, they said. And then he assaults her and gets arrested.
Wow,
What a
that's
dick.
Yeah.
kind of bad.
Oh, what a guy. Late November back in 94. Yeah, this dude is a fucking... Starts off just... Like, in high school, he's beating his girlfriend in high school.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad start.
And I think the story, or I saw a couple different things, but I think he either like choked her or grabbed her by the throat. It was something like that. It was like, holy shit. Like,
Was
it was
it
actually pretty serious.
Was it a Darth Vader cosplay, though?
Negative.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then the throat grabbing's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's the only time where it's okay.
And then the following year, 1995, he would graduate from River Valley High School near Marion, Ohio. So I guess congratulations. I've never heard of someone being arrested for assault before graduating high school like that and then actually continuing on. I don't know why that seemed weird to me.
Yeah.
But he's arrested and then graduates high school after that.
Yeah, he's kind of something like somebody you would expect like wouldn't have a high school diploma.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you would have thought he would have given up at some point. His life wouldn't have turned out so great.
God damn it, dude. So Shawn here, he has a record of assaulting women. At the age of 23, he broke into his pregnant girlfriend's house. And a little fun note here, she was 17 at the time.
Oh, Jesus.
So he breaks into her house, he then chokes her, and then he threatens to kill her.
For what?
So that is one thing that Shawn does.
Damn.
You will see he's one who likes to strangle and choke. And he would spend less than a month in jail, but the girl's family would try and get a restraining order against him, which, I mean, is completely understandable.
For sure.
But the ex-girlfriend would ask the judge to remove the non-contact order a few months later. And I think that's because, like, she's 17 years old, and she was 2 months pregnant when that attack happened. So
Yeah.
I don't know if a couple months later she asked them to remove that so he could be in the child's life. I doubt it. I have no idea.
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, he already tried to choke you. Like, what kind of father is he going to be?
It's just because as a kid he was put in the chokey.
Oh, fuck yeah, he was.
Oh.
Dude, I think I'm gonna make a new condom line to compete with Trojan and like Extends or whatever the fuck other ones they got.
Extends is a penis pill.
Yeah, trust me, I know a lot about that. If you needed information on Extends,
Yeah.
I got it. So now we're going to fast forward 8 months after this assault, when Shawn would break into that same woman's home, his now ex-girlfriend. Does anyone want to guess where at in the home he would hide all night?
Under the bed.
Dude, under the fucking kitchen sink.
Oh, fuck yeah. I would think like attic, maybe?
All right.
Buried in the yard.
Alrighty. I don't fucking know how. Somehow he gets inside the couch and hides in the couch all night.
Fuck yeah, dude. What if you like, I don't know how he did this. He was actually in the silverware drawer.
Yeah, you know those tins for those cookies that sometimes old ladies put shit in?
Yeah. He hid in the fucking what's it called? What the fuck's that popcorn called that comes in the tin?
Oh, yeah,
Kettle
dude,
corn
it's
or
like
whatever the fuck it's called. He hides in there.
So, yeah, you're not going to believe where he was hiding. I mean, we never opened it up, so we didn't know he was in there. He was inside a CD case. It was a POD.
Dude, Kev, do you remember way back in the day? I know our one listener, Sarah, will remember, but like me hiding in the Patterson's couch. Like,
Yeah.
I could fit in the corner really good and slink in there.
Yeah, but you'd have to put pillows and shit over you.
Exactly.
I was so fucking claustrophobic.
So somehow Shawn is hiding inside this couch all night, and then when his ex-girlfriend and her sister get home, he pops out from inside the couch holding a fucking butcher knife and attacks them.
Wow.
I can't help but picture it as like Ace Ventura, the second Ace Ventura when he gets out of that rhino.
Yeah.
I hope like that's how he got out of the couch.
There's an episode of Always Sunny where Frank hides in the couch, and he gets out naked.
Yeah.
He would have to have one that would have like a fold-out bed or something in it, right?
You would think.
Like it
But he'd
definitely
have
wasn't a
to, like-
futon for sure.
He'd have to like get rid of the bed and just hide in there. I don't know.
Yeah, like I feel like all this is like a lot of work when there's closets in the house.
So this girl is either 17 or 18 at the time. He's 22. Here's a quote that the officer said about this. Shawn told them to shut up because he was in control. Then he said, if anyone comes to the door, there will not be anyone here to answer it. So you better hope that no one knocks at the door.
What the fuck does that even mean?
He's just fucking he's like, he pops out with a knife. He's like, if anyone comes to the door, I'm killing both of you.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's not even fair.
Yeah, like
that's
that.
not even.
Like, why is
that's
that there?
not
Like,
their
what if
control.
they just fucking ordered pizza?
Like, oh fuck, take the long way. Shawn Grate, he would have a second child born because
Jesus.
yeah, this guy needs to have more kids. His second child would be born on September 11th, 1999,
Fuck.
All right.
and that child's name, Osama bin Laden.
Oh, hell yeah.
I fucking knew it.
I like that.
I made that part up.
He was 2 when he fucking did the whole thing.
But yeah, his second child is born on September 11th. And I don't want to use names or anything like that.
Yeah,
but in
absolutely.
total, he would end up having 3 children to 3 different women. And by now, 2019, 2 of them are adults. And then one of them is still a kid.
That's
But yeah, I'm not
ridiculous.
going to say any of their names or anything like that.
Yeah, hopefully they don't know. I mean, well, I'm sure the adults probably do. Hopefully the kid doesn't know.
Yeah, I watched an interview of his ex-girlfriend. I don't know if it was an ex-wife, but an ex-girlfriend who he has the youngest child with. She was on Dr. Phil talking about, like, she doesn't know what to tell her kid about it.
Yeah.
Like, do you
'Cause you-
tell him about
You
him?
kind
or-
of don't have to. I mean, like, he may find out for himself eventually, but, you know, he may be adult enough to where, like, it wouldn't be, like, as, I don't know, bad. I don't know.
And one of Shawn's friends that he grew up with believed that Shawn had begun to experience mental health issues by his late 20s. Quote, he would put all of his effort into a project, he would work as hard as he could, and then a couple of weeks later, he would completely abandon the effort. He would just give up on everything. And that friend also described Shawn as a, quote, go-to person and a shoulder to cry on during those years, saying that he often helped by being a good listener. Quote, he was the one that came to a Halloween party dressed as a woman, making everyone laugh, and has nothing but a smile on his face. That is the Shawn that I know, and that is the Shawn that I want to remember.
Oh.
Okay.
So it sounds like, I mean, everyone has like a lot of good shit to say about him unless you're dating him. Like, everyone's like, he's so nice and charming. He was like a brother to me. And then his 17-year-old girlfriend, he beats the fuck out of twice.
And tries to kill, yeah.
The friend who had these quotes to say, she knew a girl that dated him twice, I think it was. Like, she said that she dated him before 1999 and then sometime after 1999, and then finally broke up with him because he wasn't acting right. Quote, he would get very, very depressed. And he would just like sit on the couch for days and wouldn't get up.
Oh, what the fuck?
And then there's also reports and quotes of people saying like he was just an extremely fucking lazy guy later on. Like, he was just super lazy.
Kind of like me on Sundays. I usually just sit in the bathroom with no clothes on and just take, every time I feel like a shit's going to come out, I just kind of like do the squat position and just let that shit fly out.
Fuck
And
yeah.
whether it hits the toilet or not, I usually don't know because I keep my eyes closed the whole time.
You're just there for the ride, man.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah. One lump sum at a time, baby.
Oh, fuck
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
And Shawn had a growing record. Whenever it was against females, it was usually violent, but most of his other arrests, they were for things like burglary and stuff like that. His first felony that wasn't a domestic issue was in October of 1996 when he and a juvenile, they committed a burglary together. I don't exactly know what they broke into or what they stole, but he would get arrested and sentenced to a 4-year prison term.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I like it like that. She working that back. That's juvenile, right?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
but he would only end up having to serve 7 months of that.
Of 4 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's a quote. He seemed to be involved in nonviolent crimes except when dealing with females, especially those he is intimate with. This is what an assistant professor of criminal justice at Ohio Northern University said. His name was Tristan Kilgallen, and he teaches classes on serial killers.
It's a hell of a name for somebody who does that.
Tristan, this is the second story in a row we had a guy named Tristan.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Next week we will be covering
the murder of Chloe.
I was just gonna make a Kardashian joke. Yeah.
Is
Lamar
he,
Odom.
What was that? What was the teacher's name?
This one?
Yeah.
Tristan Kilgallen.
Oh crap, I got it wrong because I thought he was going after like people that host late night shows. I thought his name was Tristan Kilfallon.
Hell yeah.
Dude, one thing about Tristan Kilgallen, though, I guess, like, you should see him fucking chug milk. Okay, that's dumb.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Hell yes.
Now, back to that event where Shawn hid under that couch, that attack that he did. In that knife attack, he and his ex-girlfriend would struggle over the knife, and she would get a severe cut on her finger, and Shawn, he would end up with a bunch of cuts. I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah, so I guess he was fucking slicing away and shit.
Jesus. Think how much better the world would be if he just fucking suffocated in the couch.
Dude, that would have been fucking great.
Yeah, dude.
Imagine having to
great.
call Rent-A-Center.
Oh my god.
Hey,
we don't want this anymore.
I'm still making payments on this couch, but there's a dead guy in here.
And since this attack was after his burglary charge, they were like, okay, we're putting you back in jail and you're actually going to serve those full 4 years now. So he goes to prison for 4 years after this.
Nice.
Oh, good.
And then he would be released in January of 2003. And if you look at all of his mugshots, his appearances, they shift like crazy. Like he'll go from like a good looking dude, then he gets pretty heavy. I don't know if he's like jacked from fucking lifting or what, but sometimes he looks a little beat up and then he'll look like a pretty decent looking dude. It fluctuates. It's really weird. And Shawn's mother, she would later say in an interview that drugs and prison changed her son. Quote, yes, he's good looking, but the devil's good looking too, she reportedly told the Daily Mail. He ain't no red horns and all that stuff. You find out he's charming, and of course that charm can charm the pants off anybody. It's kind of weird to say about your son, but...
Yeah.
That's a little humble brag right there.
Yeah, he's not taking my pants.
Prison didn't really change him. I mean, he fucking beat up his girlfriend when he was in high school. Like,
yeah.
He was already pretty fucking bad.
His mother mentioned drugs, which, I mean, I wouldn't doubt if he's doing drugs. I didn't see any evidence or any reports of him doing drugs, which, I mean, I guarantee he probably was.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully he got gang raped in prison because he's such a prick.
Yeah, he is. Strangely enough, he actually invented Jankum, it says right here on his Wikipedia page.
Well, that's actually, if you did some research for once, Kevin, that's how he actually fit in the couch. He huffed all that jankum,
Oh, fuck
and
yeah.
he was able to like pass out but slide comfortably into the couch.
Dang, because that nice feeling that Jenkum gives you.
Fuck yeah. It's crazy, actually. I heard that he went on a diet like to be able to fit in the couch. He was just like, he wasn't eating anything. He was literally just surviving on that girl's bath water. Just buying that shit and fucking drinking it.
Right here, he also says, like, yeah, I invented Jankum, but don't let the rumors fool you. I didn't do it for pleasure. I did it out of necessity. So, okay.
He did it for Isaac Yankum. Fucking Kane.
I have another question. Do we know if he spent any time in or around the area of Scranton, Pennsylvania?
He might have.
Possibly. And one thing that Shawn tended to do, he would take advantage of everyone he could. He would use his charm and looks to leech off people. He took kindness for weakness, and he would take advantage of vulnerable women as well as kind people. And I'm not sure exactly what Shawn did as far as jobs go. I watched one video where they went through like one of the houses he was living in Mansfield, and he had a bunch of tools and like a little shop set up, and he would just make wood signs and sell them. Like the one in the video was like a little Superman-esque. So I guess he would like make wood carvings and he would sell them. Also, he had like no electricity. He ran an extension cord from somewhere, and he would just like shit in buckets and
Jesus
stuff.
Christ.
Well, at least he's efficient at that, I guess.
Yeah.
Dude, shitting in buckets is the most fucking... The smell, man. That's the one thing I'll never get past is the fucking smell.
Yeah.
Isn't that what not in water has to be fucking horrible?
Isn't that how the Unabomber lived, shitting in a bucket out in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, problem solved.
Well, thanks for listening, guys.
There was also, when they went through that house in Mansfield, there was a paper where Shawn Grate wrote his 5-year plan on it. And I remember one of the things, like part of his 5-year plan was opening up a place where people can play pool.
Oh my God. What does he have against bars?
That's like all he did was like hang out at bars in Ashland pretty much, and they're all shitty.
Yeah. There's not a fucking good one here.
But people also, like we mentioned, describe Shawn as being extremely lazy and unwilling to work. He was kicked out of places because he couldn't pay for it, so he would move in with people that he took advantage of. So that's pretty much what he did, is he would leech off nice girls. Like he would find girls that were like vulnerable or down on their luck, or he just took advantage of nice people.
It's such a dick move.
Hashtag Wildman.
Now, October 2003, Shawn, he gets in trouble with the mother of his second child. I guess I don't know if he broke into her home or what exactly happened, but he chokes her out and then forces her to perform a sex act on him.
Jesus,
He doesn't get charged with sexual assault, but he does get charged with 2 counts of misdemeanor domestic violence, and then he goes back to jail for 7 or 8 months or so.
Yeah, why the fuck didn't he get sexual assault? He should have gotten that. Like, they basically should have just fucking put him away, locked the key, like threw away the key then.
Yeah.
Was she a minor?
No. The mother of the second child wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Imagine if the sex act was like something wild, like he like breaks in, he's like, "You're gonna finger my ass," and she's like, "Oh my God, please no." He's like, I didn't wipe my shit for a week. Start fingering.
Yeah, while I'm gonna chug this Crystal Pepsi while we do it.
Oh God damn!
It was
And I'm
bad
gonna-
enough just the Crystal
And I'm
Pepsi.
gonna dab while I do it. Okay, yeah, let's just move on.
Okay.
Wait, would he be?
Yeah, Kev, why would you say that? Let's just move on.
Could you put him in the Mel Hall of Fame possibly?
Oh, he's
Yeah, for
definitely
sure,
Mel
yeah.
Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Okay.
So Shawn, he does end up with another girlfriend. It's a girl that he met in 2005, and they ended up dating for 5 years, which is pretty crazy because we'll find something out about the year 2005 a little later on. She said, quote, "Shawn was very handsome and quite charming. He had a way of looking at you like you were the only person he saw. But after they moved into a house together a year later," she said, "he started showing a side that was cold and indifferent, and he wanted me all to himself." And they also said, like, Shawn, like, remember, he's lazy. He doesn't really work. He just mooches off people. He moves in with her, and then he's pissed off because her children also live there.
Oh my
Fuck
God.
yeah.
Why the fuck are these kids here?
It's like fucking Sinbad and House Guest, like, but being pissed off that there's a family in there, even
Yeah,
though they
what the
took
fuck?
them in.
Get these kids out of here.
Damn, kids always ruin everything.
And she also characterized him as, quote, mentally abusive for the most part. And there was also some incidents of violence, but I didn't find any of the details of that exactly.
I wonder if that's the first time he's ever been compared to Sinbad.
Honestly, there's no way that's the first time. I mean, Sinbad.
It's literally
he's
in his
attractive.
name. Sin bad. He's not a good person.
No.
Yeah.
Like, anything he did in fucking Jingle All the Way is fucking just horrible.
Hashtag Sinbad.
So we mentioned that they were together for 5 years. In June of 2010, she would tell the Bucyrus police officers that she had been assaulted by him, and she had multiple blows to the face, and she mentioned that he was choking her and grabbing her by the throat, and also her hand was fractured because it was a defensive wound. And somehow she managed to talk Shawn into letting her go to the hospital. And whenever she gets to the hospital, she's like, "I fell down and that's how I got hurt." But they kind of knew, like, she's all beat up, her face, her throat, her hand. And whenever Shawn wasn't in the room, that's when she tells the nurses to, like, "No, he fucking beat the shit out of me."
Oh, well. Hashtag Wild Woman.
As soon as Shawn, like, got word of this, he fucking took off running.
Oh my God. Like Forrest Gump.
Yeah, he runs and he escapes. Like, he runs to the hospital and goes and hides.
What if he hid in the fucking super uncomfortable couch cushions in the hospital?
Well, I'm just going to say, does anyone want to guess where he was found 4 days later?
Oh, fuck yeah. A fucking couch.
Dude, in the exact same couch he hid in the first time.
Well, back in the home of the girlfriend that he had just put in the hospital, which he's been gone for 4 days. he was found hiding inside the fucking couch.
Fuck yes.
Somehow, this dude fucking enters couches like Casper, like going through closet doors.
Or cats going through things too.
But
I don't know what show it is, but our couch, living in the middle of our couch.
somehow, though, like, I don't think he popped out, though. I think I remember reading that she told the police, like, hey, I think my ex-boyfriend is hiding in my couch.
Fuck.
And then I think the police showed up and found him in there.
Damn.
Holy
shit.
So he could potentially have been in there for 4 days.
It reminds me of the after credits in Boy Meets World when Eric is in the couch.
Yeah, you're sitting on Eric. But like, is he pissing and shitting in there, or is he getting out?
I don't know.
I would say at like midnight or so, he probably gets out and restocks on gummy worms and snacks and shits and stuff.
You need the gummy worms.
Well,
I like how gummy worms weren't part of the snacks category.
I think they found him because they were sitting on the couch. They were watching Indian in the cupboard. And then the part when that guy comes out of the cupboard and has a heart attack, they heard Shawn giggling in the couch.
honestly, what I think is that he somehow, when that girl must have bought the big comfy couch, and every time he needed something, like if he needed to take a shit, he just like, oh, looky what I got in here. Let me dig into the couch, and there's a fucking like porta potty in there.
Oh, hell
fucking blows that shit up. All the snacks he'll ever need are in there. So yeah, I mean, honestly, if he had the big comfy fucking couch, he would be able to live in there, stay in there, and nobody would ever find him.
Fuck yeah.
That couch is like under the bed in Little Monsters.
I heard like they weren't even gonna find him. Like they had no idea he was in there, and then just randomly they started watching a DVD of Tommy Boy, and he tried doing that song and dance like fucking Tommy and his dad.
Hey, mama, don't you treat me right?
But he did that from in the couch.
They started hearing him go, hey, hey.
So good.
But Grate, he ends up getting arrested and sentenced to 180 days in jail, which doesn't seem like enough, for first-degree misdemeanor domestic violence. And during the time in jail, okay, there's a protection order, of course. He fucking calls her. It's like, dude, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And then he writes letters to her, sort of, because they're addressed to her cats. He writes letters to her cats from prison and fucking...
Holy shit.
What?
That seems really...
Like, if this
really
isn't a hint,
normal.
is that fucking idiot's, like, mental health?
No, that's fucking brilliant, because is he actually thinking that will, like, get around the restraining order?
Probably.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's to get around it or if he's legit writing letters to her cats. Like, if he really fucking hated those cats or if he's doing it to get around it. Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know what the letter said.
I really
That's
want to
awesome,
know
though.
what the letter said.
Unfortunately for Shawn, though, all of this was a bit too much, and he would end up being single again because nobody wants a fucking nutty couch-hiding, cat letter-sending abuser as a boyfriend these days.
No, they don't.
It's like, dear Sprinkles, I'm sorry for putting you in the freezer.
Fucking Dwight.
So here's a quote from her, though. Before that night, I feared he would kill me. That night only strengthened that fear. I now believe more than ever, had I not left him, I would be dead or one of my children would be.
Ugh.
So that's a fucking terrifying thing to, like, just that thought is so terrifying.
Hey, I just came up with something.
Yes.
So you said like Shawn would sometimes lose jobs because he wasn't very proactive and all that stuff.
I don't even know if he had regular jobs. I have
Like
no
he
idea.
had he had no motivation, that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he liked to hide in couches, right? So does that make him a lazy boy?
Oh,
Fuck
shit.
yeah, dude.
You better
That's
believe
good.
it does. You bet your sweet pumpkin ass it does.
Oh yeah.
Now, before we start getting into the main parts of this case, I do have a couple notes from a timeline I want to mention. And I think this was taken from one of the newspapers. But December 23rd, 2011, Shawn gets married in Mansfield. July 2012, his wife gives birth to a daughter. October 19th, 2012, his wife files for divorce.
Okay, pretty short time.
Yeah, never
April
know.
2013, she files a restraining order saying Shawn threatened her and her family.
Yeah, like fucking, they could have just locked this idiot up.
this dude.
Like, he's done enough, like, clearly showing that he's going to hurt somebody.
Yeah. So here we start coming to the events leading to this main event. And I've seen some conflicted stories on this, but it's sometime in early 2015 in a wooded area, either near Ashland or Mifflin, a body would be found, and then it would be identified as Rebecca Lacey, and her death would be ruled a drug overdose.
Oh, I actually know exactly where that is. Should I say the road?
I left it out. Is it Ashland or near Mifflin? Because I've seen both listed.
I think I'm pretty sure it's out of Ashland.
I thought it was on the outside of Ashland too, but Mifflin isn't.
Is this deletable?
If you want to.
But yeah, I think it was in Mifflin.
So, alrighty. Then August 16th, 2016, there is a missing persons report. Elizabeth Griffith, age 29, and this is just word for word from the actual missing report. Elizabeth is missing from the city of Ashland. She was last seen August 16th in the area of Aldi and Walmart. She may have been in Ontario in the last few days. She has no car and does not drive. And the Walmart surveillance photos, they just show, they show a woman in the store pushing an empty cart. So they do have a couple pictures of her on surveillance. And she would be reported missing to the Ashland Police Division on September 7th, according to a missing persons report from police. And then I don't always see this part listed. However, Tina Swartz, a therapist at Appleseed Community Mental Health. Oh shit, that kind of scared me. When I said something that popped up Siri.
Schwartz?
Tina Swartz, a therapist at Appleseed Community Mental Health. She counseled Griffith and oversaw her day-to-day needs, and she said that Griffith suffered from paranoid schizophrenia and would sometimes hear voices or see things that weren't there. So that is this girl, she went missing. One incident with Griffith, she put kerosene on her head once and set her hair on fire.
All right.
Yeah, I don't have any more to that story, but...
Sounds like a ECW wrestler.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. And Swartz also said that Griffith would call Appleseed's helpline almost every night, and her last call came on August 15th, and then the day she went missing was the 16th. And she also had some missed appointments between that day and September 17th. And that is when, or September 7th, I'm sorry. And that is when Swartz and a caseworker, they went to Griffith's apartment, and there were no signs of her, and her laundry wasn't done or anything. So, quote, right then I knew something was wrong, Swartz said. So this poor woman would go missing.
My mom worked with her, actually.
Oh, wow.
She worked with her?
My mom did.
Oh, wow. And then September 8th, 2016, Stacy Stanley, or sometimes known as Stacy Hicks, 43 years old, she would make a stop at the BP in Ashland, which was directly next door to where Timmy was living.
Yeah.
And she was driving when her car had gotten a flat tire. And at around 8:30 that night, from a payphone at the BP, she calls her son and she tells him that, yo, I have a flat tire, I'm at the BP. However, a family friend and then a man that she had just met had offered to help her change the tire. Some sources don't mention a family friend, so I don't know if there was also a family friend, but she does mention that a man at the gas station that she just met was going to help her change the tire.
Yeah.
And she then stated that she was going to get coffee and then she would drive home. And the worker at BP, he would later say that she saw the woman come into the gas station with a man, buy him a coffee, and then the two left together in her car.
That's a little weird.
So creepy, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, did they have him on surveillance there? I never really,
No.
I'd say I never really heard anything about that. I wonder why not.
He's a vampire.
No.
A kung fu vampire.
Kung fu movies, but you would think they would have camera set up in there. I wonder why they don't have that all on surveillance.
And there was no contact between her and her son the next day, which would have been September 9th. And then on the 10th, her son tried calling her all day, but he never got an answer. And family members went to her home in Greenwich. They broke in and noticed that her dogs were still in the cages and that they had pissed and shit all over on the inside of them. Indicating that she has not been home in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So then the family, they file a missing persons report in Ashland on September 11th. And then shortly after, the police, they would find her car on 9th Street, but there were no signs of Stacy anywhere.
Which that's really close to to the BP.
Yeah. And then one thing
Jeez.
to note here, a lot of families would end up getting pretty upset with the way the police in multiple counties were handling the missing persons report, because most of these women that went missing, they had some sort of past trouble with the law or with drugs. But the families felt like the police could have put more effort into actually trying to find them.
Absolutely.
But according to Stacy's son, he mentioned that his mother had been clean for a year, although we'll get some conflicting information on that as well. But yeah, so we do get the feeling that a lot of the family were pretty upset with the way things were handled.
I'm just shocked I used to live close to that too at one point. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we really lived in a circle around where all this shit was going on. So that missing persons report is filed on September 11th. And now we come to September 13th, 2016, when a 911 call is placed. And we're not going to play the whole 911 call because it's 22 minutes, but I will put some of the parts of it on here. Have you guys listened to it?
Yeah.
No, but I've listened to a Metallica song, so I can get the gist of how long it is.
To summarize it up, though, it really feels like a horror movie. Like, your heart's going to be racing. It's intense.
Yeah, it really is tense, yeah, because you're just like, fucking just get there and get her the fuck out of there.
It starts off with this girl, and she's going to be referred to forever on as Jane Doe because stuff that happens to her. But she calls 911, and very quietly she whispers, she says, "I'm across the street from 4th Street Laundromat. I've been abducted." And this entire time she's whispering and being quiet. So many times they have to be like, what'd you say? Where are you at? Because her abductor, Shawn Grate, is asleep in the bed next to her.
That's so fucking terrifying.
It's fucking very terrifying. And she has to try and describe where she is to the 911 responder. And she's just inches away from him. He's asleep. But she doesn't fully know. Like, she knows the laundromat, but they're asking her, like, what color's the house? And things like that.
Imagine if her dispatcher was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm at the laundromat on 9th Street. What? I'm right across the street. I've been abducted. What?
She's like, please come get me. And she's like, oh my God, did you break through the window? He's like, no, I was just playing my theme song. Jane Doe tells the 911 responder that she can't get out or escape, and that Shawn has set some stuff up in the room so that if she moves or leaves, it will make a noise and wake him up, which I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm guessing he probably just like fallout rigged some cans and strings or something.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's lazy. He's not going to put too much effort into it.
And she mentions to 911 that she can't leave because she's scared, and she was tied up, but she managed to free herself a bit, and so that's how she was able to grab Shawn's phone.
How the fuck did he even have a phone?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. And this part is... there's so many parts in this call that it'll give you like chills, but the 911 responder, she's like, are you bleeding from anywhere? And she responds like quietly, she's like, not anymore.
Oh man,
it's sad and scary. It really is. We'll put clips of it, not the whole thing, but yeah.
Which I've heard it. It's pretty awful.
And then while talking, the 911 responder is like, does he have any weapons or anything like that? And she's like, well, he has a taser. And then a little bit later, you hear the fucking taser go off. Like, I don't know if she bumped it or what, but the taser goes off. It makes this quick buzzing noise, and she goes, oh, shit. I woke him up. And you're like, holy fuck.
Or was that when they were first okay.
Yeah,
so,
that buzzing noise, which is like at the first third of the 911 call, he wakes up. And it's like, she's like, oh, shit, I woke him up. And she sets the phone down. And it's almost a full like 2 to 3 minutes of her lying there pretending to be asleep, like scared out of her mind.
Jesus.
And
wait, why would the dispatcher ask her all these questions if she said she can't even like, if she's right next to him?
I kind of think that when I was listening to it, I'm like, fuck, just get there.
Well, there is a point where she tells her, like, if you can't talk, set the phone down. Like, stay on, but put the phone down. Like, she tells, like, police are on their way and stuff. But, 911 responders, they always try to talk as long as they can to keep them calm and things like that.
It's not the responder's fault or anything like that. It's just...
Yeah.
She clearly can't fucking talk.
And I don't think they realize how serious this is because they don't know... Like, they hear Shawn Grate, but they don't know anything about Shawn Grate. Like, the 911 responder, they don't know who he is. And she says, I've been abducted. I'm lying in bed next to him. He's sleeping.
Yeah.
So I don't think they have any idea, what they're about to walk into. But later on in court, during those 2 to 3 minutes, she says that when after the taser noise, he sat up and he put his feet down on the floor and he was really groggy and seemed to sit there for what seemed like 30 seconds and then he laid back down. That was her quote in court.
Wow.
So how fucking scary that would be. And you're
that'd
listening.
be absolutely terrifying. Oh.
And then towards the end of the call, like the whole time she's like the 911 responders, like if you can get out, you need to get out. Which she gets some shit for that because she's told her 100 times, like, I'm trapped in here. I can't make any noises. She's afraid if she makes a noise, especially if he finds out she called 911 and you're going to find out how long she's been here and what he's been doing to her. Like, she is terrified out of her mind. But yeah, the end of this call towards the end, it kind of reminds me of that scene in The Dark Knight, spoilers, where the police show up and it ends up being at the other building and you don't realize until it's too late. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because she's downstairs in the house, like that's where they are on the bottom floor, and there's a door. But it was kind of confusing. I don't think there's a doorknob on it. Like I don't think they can just open it like normal, and it might be locked from the inside or something. But either way, it's hard to open from the outside. And they tell her like, yeah, the police are there. Do you see them? She's like, no. And then she mentions how she's looking out the window and she doesn't see the police, but she keeps getting informed that they're on their way. And then she sees them around the house, and then it looks to her like they're leaving.
Oh,
and
God.
so she's like, tell them to come back. Like she's super scared. She's like, tell them to come back. They're going the wrong way. So it's like there's two houses that are right next to each other in front of the laundromat.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she thinks like maybe they thought it was in the other house. Like to her, she sees them out the window and then sees them like almost leaving. I mean, they're not leaving. They're looking for a way in.
Yeah.
But God, that'd be so fucking scary.
Oh, fuck yeah, because you just think they're leaving you.
911, what is the address to your emergency? By the Street Laundromat. What is it? Fourth Street Laundromat. What's the problem? I've been abducted. Who abducted you? Shawn Green. You said John Green? Shawn Grate. Where's she at now? Asleep. Where's she sleeping at? In the bedroom. In what bedroom? There's two houses right by the laundry street. And it's in one of those houses. But you're at the laundromat? No, I'm in the bedroom with them. What color's the house? Does he have a weapon? He's got a taser. Is there any way you can get out of the building? I don't know without waking him, and I'm scared. Is there a bathroom in the house? Well, his bedroom is closed, and he made it so it would make noise. If you told me you had to go to the bathroom, he would do something to you? Yeah, because he had me tied up. Are you tied up now? Well, yeah, but I kind of freed myself. Do you know where he lives? No. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, I woke him up. I just set the phone down.
So the police, they manage to find a way in. They get her out of the house, and then they arrest Shawn. And you can hear them. They're like, put your hands up. And immediately when entering the house, they realize that it's just a huge fucking mess. There are piles of dirty clothes everywhere, stuffed animals, toys, trash. And one of the reports say like there's spots where it's piled from the ceiling, from the floor to the ceiling of like toys and clothes and shit.
Oh, shit.
And I'm going to bleep this out. But this is a house that is owned by...
Yeah.
And I think it was a house that was just used to store, like, whether it's donations, like clothes and toys and shit. I don't really know exactly what they're doing with this house.
Yeah.
The owner would later say, like, I don't know how he got in. Like, we haven't been to this house in, like, a few weeks or a month or something. They're like, he had to have broken in somehow.
Which
I mean, obviously.
I've been in those houses before because that house, too, they used to rent them out. So my sister actually lived in the other one. But
okay.
I've been in the one where he did it in because we knew the neighbor. Obviously, it was well before this happened. But
yeah. So this house is abandoned where he's living, and then Shawn just broke in, and he's been living there for a little bit. So the police, they enter, and the entire place reeks of trash and decay, which then leads the police in 2 directions, upstairs to the 2nd floor and then downstairs to the basement. So this is another really fucked up thing. The police follow the stench of just decay, and they didn't know what it was. They go upstairs, and they come to a room where he just fucking sealed up the doors with duct tape.
Jesus.
So you know that's not a good sign. Like he just fucking duct taped the door. And inside there's a closet, which I don't know if he duct taped the door to the room or if just the closet door, but the door is completely sealed with duct tape. And on the inside they find the body of Elizabeth Griffith, but her body was in such bad shape that they had to use dental records to identify her.
Jesus.
And quote from Dr. Todd Barr, a Cuyahoga County deputy medical examiner. He testified that Griffith's body was found in an advanced state of decomposition whenever it was discovered on September 13th. Quote, she was wrapped in various garments that had her restrained with her arms behind her back and her legs behind her back. Her hands were secured behind her back with a red and white striped shirt, then also had a piece of black fabric that was wrapped around her right ankle that extended up under this red and white striped shirt, up around her neck and back down.
Jesus, it was like she was fucking hogtied.
He hogtied this girl, okay?
That's fucking insane.
And just fucking pretty much raped her to death over and over. And then when she died, he doesn't even untie her. He leaves her hogtied, throws her in a closet, covers her with clothes and trash, and fucking duct tapes the door shut.
Jesus.
That's how little he fucking
like he
thinks.
Gives no shit about human life at all.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any better. This is from News 5 Cleveland. Quote, investigators then located the decomposing body of Stacy Stanley in the basement on the cold concrete floor where she was buried under a pile of trash and debris. She was naked from the waist down and had a cloth tied around her neck, and it appeared she had been strangled. So he just ties him up, rapes him over and over until they close to death, and then he strangles them to death, and then he just throws trash and clothes over them.
This guy's such a piece of shit.
And who knows how long he was raping and torturing these women either. Like, it's really fucked up.
Yeah.
And in the room where he would torture these women, quote, while examining the room and its furnishing, BCI found restraints on the bed and a pole propped up against the wall with a sock and a layer of condoms wrapped around it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so he's just, yeah. And in case you didn't think this was...
Whoa. Is this did he make a dildo stick?
Yeah, a raping stick.
Whoa, okay then.
And in case you didn't think this was fucked up enough, he also videotaped some of the sexual assaults that he did, including the woman, the Jane Doe that called 911 and escaped. He recorded videos of him sexually assaulting her and raping these other women too. And it would later be learned that Jane Doe, she was held for 3 days in the home where she was repeatedly raped. And like I said, he recorded those videos. And this is what she had to say about him beforehand, or had to say about him before like all this shit happened. She said that I saw him as an older brother. He was kind of goofy, but he struck me as kind. The two met at the Ashland Croc Center and spent some time together over lunch discussing the Bible and life.
Jesus.
Oh.
She was a Bible girl.
We used to fucking play basketball at the Croc Center like all the time.
2016, we were there almost. You could find us there any day.
Yeah.
Fucking shooting hoops there. And on the night that he attacked her, like she was coming to this house on her own free will. Like they were friends to her. Like they would read the Bible and stuff and hang out. Until the day where he rips the Bible from her hands as she was getting ready to leave. And he says, "You're not going anywhere." And from that moment on, he held her captive and just raped her over and over. She said, "I was doing everything, trying to kick and punch, but everything I did, he just did it so much harder." And that's when he started to choke me and I stopped struggling. I stopped because I knew I couldn't get out of it.
That literally sounds like me anytime I fight anyone better than me in Street Fighter. I just mashed the
Kicked and
buttons.
punched.
I kicked and punched, but no matter what I did, he still kicked my ass.
If you're E Honda though, and you're just button mashing,
let's say
you
just
can
do the
get
hand
that
thing.
You
Yeah.
can get that fucking hand thing going
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, you can hit him from fucking so far away.
She also said that she was raped repeatedly, tied up, and she didn't eat anything during that entire time there, which was 3 days. Quote, I couldn't move without him jumping without reaction. And she even said that she was not allowed to go to the bathroom without him walking her to the room.
So she's pretty much like an animal at one point, it seems like. He treated her that much.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, what's going on in somebody's head where they think this is okay to do?
And the fact that, and when he's done, he just he's like, well, I'm just going to throw trash and clothes over him and duct tape him in this room.
Yeah, like he just gives no fucks. It's fucking disgusting.
And the story doesn't end here, though. As soon as Shawn is taken into custody that very same day, he admits to it all, and he also admits to another murder. Like, they bring him in, and he just right away confesses to everything. And he's like, I've murdered 5 women in total. And, by the way, he points the police to a wooded area nearby Mansfield, Ohio, and that's where they find the remains of a female body that is behind a burned-down house. So right away, he leads them to another body, another woman that he killed. And she would later be identified as Candace Cunningham, a 29-year-old girl that was last seen in June, but she was never reported as missing.
Wow.
And
Really?
on her Facebook, there's a post from her wall from March 28th where she shared a photo that Shawn Grate posted on his wall. It was just a selfie that he took, like in a kitchen, I think. And this is what she said with that picture. There's also like a billion spelling errors and grammar errors, but this is pretty much what I made it out to be, I'm pretty sure. Quote, baby, when you get out, we are going to wherever we end up. That's fine with me. It is so nice to have you in my life. When you asked me to marry, I said yes, and I told you that I was going to be there to the end. So that was at the end of March, she posted. So he apparently asked her to marry him, and within 2 months, he would kill her and then dump her body.
Jesus.
And I read somewhere they lived together in Mansfield a little bit, like in that house that we mentioned earlier where he had that little shop. One of the sources mentioned they lived there together a little bit. But yeah, he ends up killing her and dumping her body. And there is an interview with 19 News with Grate after he's in jail. And we're going to read part of that interview right here. But 19 News, they ask, let's talk about Candace Cunningham. You two were dating. For how long, and was she pregnant? Shawn says, no, she wasn't pregnant. We were seeing each other for about 7 months. She was pretty violent and suicidal. I turned her into a psych ward for a week. Then we fought at the house in Richland for 3 to 4 days. Then the next day we'd get up and go for walks. She could have run off and told the police at any time. She would take a handful of pills at a time and I would give her the water. How did you kill her? In the house.
Fucking how, though?
Yeah, that's all he says. Then you burned down the house and went back for her body. Why? I had to hide her. So yeah, I think we'll mention a little bit later.
Hell?
He dumps her body and then he gets worried about like, oh, the police might find DNA. So he goes back, I think a couple months later and like lights the house and her on fire, I think. I'm not 100% positive, but it's something like that.
Wow.
And then he tells the police, he's like, I also killed Rebecca Lacey. She was the woman that was found in March 2015 and was ruled a drug overdose. Well, in the Q&A that Shawn has from jail, the interviewer says, what about Rebecca Lacey? The coroner ruled that was a drug-related overdose. Shawn says, I knew Rebecca. One day we were out playing pool at a bar, and I went to use the restroom, and then I heard my money clip zip. She'd stolen $4 from me.
Fuck.
She had to pay.
Yeah. $4 fucking bucks, dude.
$4 fucking dollars.
You can't even get like a fucking.
A
I
drink.
don't know,
You
man.
can't-
You can get a 4 for $4 deal at Wendy's.
Yeah,
with that.
I'll say like that's it, like a combo meal, like a fucking fast food restaurant. It's not
Well,
even
that's
a
really
fucking, that's not
nothing.
even
I
a
mean-
tip. That's legit not even a tip for a fucking waitress.
Andrew owed me $3, and I told him he couldn't be on the podcast till episode 100.
Oh fuck yeah.
19 News then says, but the coroner rules it an overdose. She was on something. She was a prostitute, Grate says. 19 News, so did you kill her? I strangled all of them except Dana. I choked her out of panic, then put a knife in her neck once. And that's about Dana. We'll get to Dana a little bit later.
Yeah.
So that's what he said. She, that woman he was with, she was on drugs. She was a prostitute. She stole $4 from him, so he killed her.
Did they fucking not see the signs of strangulation when they like did the autopsy on her, or was it too like decomposed when they found her?
I don't know, but I think even her family thinks it was drug overdose. Like they think he's lying about killing her.
Oh, okay.
But
well, I wonder why.
I don't think he is though.
Yeah, because like, he knew the name and everything.
He admitted to 5 murders.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't gain anything by that.
Yeah, why make it up?
And this is what he has to say about Elizabeth Griffith. Now the next woman, Elizabeth Griffith, how did you meet her? Great. At the Croc Center, we would hang out and play games. 19 News. Yahtzee, right? I think I read that in a report. Great. Yeah, and some other games too. 19. What happened with her? Why kill her? And this is what he says. I'm trying to justify it as compassion. The short time I talked to her, she cried several times just about life and how she couldn't find anyone to love her. She had a mental illness. Candace was beating herself up too. They tried to put me on psych pills, but I didn't want anything controlling my brain. 19 News. Are you remorseful? It's about 50-50.
Jesus Christ.
All I wanted to do was show Elizabeth that she wanted to live. I'd say, give me a hug, we're all in this together. I'd choke her until she said she wanted to live, and she just didn't. That's so fucking ridiculous.
That didn't fucking happen, you fucking lying idiot. So he's like trying to make it like, oh, I didn't kill her though. It was euthanasia, even though I fucking did all that other shit.
It's like, I wanted her to live. I choke her until she said she'd want to live, but she didn't say it. So I just fucking choked her to death.
Yeah, great.
And then when he's asked about the Jane Doe from the 911 call, they say, did you meet her at Stone Creek Apartments along with Elizabeth too? Shawn says, yes, we were going to get married. I wasn't going to kill her. She was very religious. She encouraged people. She helped to see who they were. I would play badminton with her at Stone Creek Apartments, and Elizabeth would be there. Was she helping you? Yes. Are you religious? I feel I've always been religious.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's very religious. You can just tell by all the fun stuff he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, so now remember I mentioned to keep the date, the year 2005, like we were going to come back to it?
Sir.
And 2005 was when he was dating that one girl for 5 years, where at the very end of it in 2010, she mentioned, like, I was fearful for my life that he would kill me. Well, they started dating in 2005. And this is an event from 2005 when Shawn committed his first murder. In Marion County, in 2007, 2 years after that murder, a young woman's body is found near a transfer station dump. I don't really know what that is, but found near a transfer station dump. And that is when a man who was there, he was, quote, down on his luck, and he was searching for soda cans so that he could exchange it for a little bit of pocket money. And that's when he came across a skull and a pile of bones in a ditch. That sucks. If you're just fucking going around the woods trying to find soda cans.
Yeah.
Like, why would there be soda cans out there anyways? Like, there can't be enough to make a life difference.
Well, he's got to get more than $4 so he can get that Big Mac.
He's got to get more than $4 so he can pay back Shawn.
So the remains had no identification nearby or on her. They had no idea who she was. And it wasn't until Shawn Grate told the police about this murder that they had any idea who did it. The murder was in 2005. The remains were found in 2007. And no one had any idea who did this. It wasn't until the day Shawn Grate was arrested where he's like, I also murdered a girl in 2005.
Yeah.
And
Jesus.
This girl, she wouldn't be identified until a couple months ago.
It was recently, yeah.
Holy shit, 14 years to identify somebody?
Yeah, and it was a young girl, too.
Damn.
It's crazy. I don't know if, like, maybe, like, nobody knew, like, she was gone. Like, did they think maybe she was a runaway or some shit?
Well, we'll talk about it.
Well, she was an adult. Yeah.
Yeah. But Shawn, he knew the location where the body was. He knew the details, so they have no reason to believe he would be lying about this. And this is from the Washington Post when they asked about him. He told the investigators that this woman was probably about 26 years old and that she was going door to door selling magazine subscriptions, and she sold a subscription to his mother. However, she didn't deliver those magazines, and his mother was pretty upset about it, and he was upset about it too. And then sometime later, about a year later in 2005, Shawn, he notices that girl again, like he spots her again. Quote, he got her into his car by telling her that he wanted to buy some magazines. And that is when he takes her to his home and he stabs her to death. And then he hides her body in his basement for 2 days before taking her body out and then dumping it.
Jesus,
So
like over fucking magazines, dude.
That murder was over magazines.
The past year, Timmy and I have been getting, well, it's coming to Timmy.
Oh, yeah.
Been getting a Golf Digest and Architectural
Architecture.
Digest magazine.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what happened is
Holy
this girl
shit.
just fucking put down the wrong address.
It easily
Dude.
could have been. Like, it
Yeah.
probably wasn't even fucking, like...
And through some kind of time loop, we're receiving Shawn Grate's
Oh,
mom's
Jesus.
magazines.
But the fucking thing is, like, it's fucking magazines. Who fucking cares? You're gonna kill somebody over magazines or over $4.
Dude, collectively, he's murdered 2 people over $25 tops.
Jesus. Yeah.
Also, I got something wrong. That Candace Cunningham girl, it wasn't her that he set the fire to. He burned the house, and then she was left behind that house. This girl, he killed this girl. He stabbed her to death, left her body in his basement for a couple days, and then he went and dropped her off somewhere. It was a few months later, he tells an investigator, where he thought, well, maybe someone's going to find that body and use DNA to identify her. So that's when he goes back to her and lights her body on fire.
Oh, gotcha.
So months later, he goes and lights her on fire. And whenever he was asked like who she was, he's like, I don't know. I took her driver's license, but I don't remember her name. It began with a D. It was either Dana or Diana. So he don't even know her name.
You fucking killed her.
I mean, her name would end up being finding out that her name was Dana. It wasn't until June of this year, 2019, where she would be identified with isotope analysis and the DNA DOE project. But her name was Dana Lowry, and she was 23 years old and from Louisiana. And also, she was once married but separated from her husband and had 2 kids with him.
It just shocks me so much. You know, you guys know how much I love my CDs and music, and I still... I could never do anything like that for less than at least $30.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Apologize.
What I was going to say was that whole duct taping the door thing isn't too uncommon, honestly. When we all lived together, soon as Kevin went to the bathroom on Taco Tuesdays, we'd also have to duct tape the door shut just to make sure.
That's true. But
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
He used to always cry and just whine the whole time. Let me out, guys. Let me out. It was so good.
It was pretty much like that scene in Ace Ventura when he finds out that Einhorn was Finkel, and after they made out.
Yeah.
Pretty much that scene in the shower is how I would act out every day. And in a letter from jail, in case you were wondering like why Shawn was killing all these women, he does explain it. He has a reasoning. Quote, they were already dead. Just their bodies were flopping wherever it can flop, but their minds were already dead. The state took their minds once they started receiving their monthly checks.
Yeah, like what the fuck does that even mean,
God
you fucking
damn.
idiot?
What a fucking piece of shit. Government assistant took their minds. I only took their bodies. So there's a lot of details that I'm sure we're leaving out, especially when it comes to the trial. I don't fully understand why, but he begins by pleading not guilty due to insanity. But they will quickly change their mind on that one, and he would end up pleading guilty to 15 charges against him. That included rape, kidnapping, gross abuse of a corpse, and burglary. Those are only for the 2 girls found in the house. And he would also be found guilty of murdering Stacey Stanley and Elizabeth Griffith, and then on June 1st of 2018, he was sentenced to death. And that was supposed to happen on September 13th, 2018, but it didn't happen because of an impending appeal to the Ohio Supreme Court. And then this part is straight from the wiki. On March 1st, 2019, Grate pled guilty in the murders of Rebecca Lacey and Candace Cunningham and was sentenced to life in prison without parole for the murder of Lacey, and then 17 years of life for the other charges, with the sentences running consecutively. I mean, he has a death sentence already. All this is just added on. Like in total, he's guilty of like 23 charges or something like that.
Imagine like pleading insanity and they're just like, no, I'm insane. Clearly, I've been doing all this. No, you don't get that.
But there's a clip right here I'm going to play where he says like, he apologizes. He's like, I know I'm not a perfect person, or he says something stupid like that, but he's like, I know right from wrong, and I apologize. He's like,
does he sing it?
He's like, I know I'm not normal. I'm not a perfect person.
Holy shit, fucking Hoobastank.
Today's a good day, mainly for all of you guys and myself. Hope we could just move on from all this. I don't know exactly, I can't say I'm normal, but, I know right from wrong. And mainly, just if I cause any hate, bitterness, and then all of any of you, you can work on that. I ask you to maybe forgive me. Find in your heart someday, I know not today, but someday. And just move on from this life. And may justice be served today. That's most important. Elizabeth, Stacy, and Lori, thank you for all your time. And this mess, I'm sorry for all human beings to have to hear this. Okay? I'm sorry. I can't change nothing. Believe me, I would. Not for me, but for you guys. Thank you.
But yeah, he says like, I'm sorry for everyone hearing this and stuff like that. It's stupid. He's a fucking idiot. He's not sorry.
Like, I'm pretty sure they played the fucking like rapes and stuff in the courtroom. Like,
yeah, there's no way.
Like, people have to see that shit.
The 911 tapes, the videos. Yeah, there is a trauma nurse who's like in the courtroom who talks about all the shit that was done to Jane Doe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play it. It's really fucked up. And she's like in tears talking about all the shit he did.
Yeah, like
and there's no way that he was sorry anyway when the way he justified him in the first place, like they were broken and hopeless. They had no life anyway.
Like, he's trying to make it seem like what he did was like fucking right or something.
Here's a quote from him in court. I apologize. I know it's going to be hard to forgive me. I apologize for my actions. There's not much more I can say about that. And this is the best part. Can't change nothing. What a fucking idiot.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, his next hearing is in a couple weeks, August 30th.
Why is he still fucking having him? Just put a bullet in his fucking dick and then there you go.
Yeah.
Like, shoot him right in the dick and just leave him somewhere to die in the sun.
The next hearing, I think, is about the murder of Dana Lowry, which is the magazines girl, the girl selling magazines, which this doesn't make any sense because he confessed to it and he's the only reason they know it was him. Like, he brings it up and tells them like the details of it, but he's pleading not guilty to that one.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I don't know.
I did it, but I didn't do it though. Like, I did it, but I didn't do it.
I wonder if he's just trying to get his name in the press, some more attention on it, so he can get himself some homies.
Oh,
Jesus. I mean, well, it is, like, pretty much just adding on to his life. I mean, he should be dead by now.
Yeah, he was supposed to die last year.
Because they didn't, like, change that, right? He still gets a death penalty, right?
He has the death penalty. He's appealing it. I don't know if the thing coming up on the 30th of August is the appeal thing for it.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but
because, like, I mean, I get it because, like, life in prison I think would be just as bad. I feel like sometimes the death penalty is just like an easy way out.
Yeah, like, I'm not a fan of the death penalty, honestly, but it's like people like this fucking deserve it. I mean, in general, I don't like the death penalty, but there's plenty of handfuls of people that deserve it, and he's definitely one of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So for the most part, that's everything on this case. I will mention that the house is no longer here. It is torn down, as well as the other house next to it. So across from the laundromat, it is just a patch of land.
Okay. I was at the laundromat with Spencer, not the one from the podcast.
Yeah.
And he was doing some laundry, and I was like, oh shit, that's the houses right there. I was like, God damn, they're close to the laundromat, man. They're like on top of it.
Yeah, they're within like feet.
And I started walking toward it. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're not even supposed to go anywhere near that fucking thing, dude. I was like gonna walk up on the front porch like a fucking idiot.
Like, you could straight up like spit from the window and probably hit the laundromat.
Oh yeah, easily.
I just can't believe that if they would have, like, when he was abusing all those people all those girls in the first place, if they would have actually been a little bit harsher on him, none of this shit would have ever happened.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, they should just fucking locked him up before.
I mean, he's always escalating, and he's always getting out. Like, he's only serving, like, the most he served was 4 years, right?
Yeah.
At a time.
So what, like 5 women would still be alive? That one that lived would, fucking have a normal life instead of this shit that she probably has now. It can't be, after all the stuff that happened. Like none of that would happen if they would have been like, okay, this fucker's attacked women how many times already? Just fucking lock him away.
Yeah. And one thing that does get brought up is right away, as soon as he got arrested, he's like, I've killed 5 women. And in the interview, when they asked him, like, how many people have you killed? He's like, 5 women. And then they have the list of the names on the paper, and the interviewer holds it up to the window, and he looks at him. He's like, yeah, that's all of them. But I do think he is telling the truth on that. I don't think he killed more than 5, only because right away he admits to it all.
Yeah.
However, it is fucking weird that he did the first killing in 2005
and
then went like 10 years without.
Yeah, he went 10 years. Yeah, that is kind of weird.
That is fucking weird. Although he was in jail for a little bit, but I can't remember what years he was in jail for.
Damn. Imagine living with a secret like that for 10 years.
Yeah, especially the fact that you murdered somebody over fucking magazines. Like, you could have been like Nick Cage, who like killed the guy in the beginning of fucking Con Air, but he had a reason. But no, this fucker did it over fucking magazines.
Dude, how the fuck does Nick Cage in Con Air get thrown in prison for protecting his pregnant wife?
Yeah. Like, who didn't one of them have a fucking
and
knife?
He's a veteran.
Dude, and like, when he walks in the bar at the beginning, they say something, they're like, yo, we don't like your kind here. He's a fucking war veteran.
Warrior. It's a whole, like he fucking fought for the country. Like, yeah, we hate you.
He walked in an Antifa bar.
So, guys, I haven't listened to it yet. I do have a message from our boy, Brooklyn. We got Brooklyn John right here. I have no idea what this says. We're going to play it real quick, though.
What the fuck is up? It's Brooklyn fucking John. Just wanted to congratulate you guys on 100 fucking podcasts. That's a lot of fucking podcasts. Holy shit. I mean, I wouldn't even want to fucking do one podcast, let alone a fucking 100. That's a lot of dead children from that circle jerk over there you got going on. No, I'm just playing. But no, really, congrats, boys. And, here's to 100 more. I'm glad I got to be a part of this little clique where we're the fucking NWO, we're the Destroyers, and we're fucking Mighty Ducks. Yes. You don't fuck with us. All right, peace.
Fuck yeah, dude.
God,
I love that guy.
Fuck yes, dude.
Just the best.
Feels good.
We always, we try to always give him a shout out at the end. But you know what? We fucking love you, man. Thank you for all the good shit you do for us. You're part of this podcast.
For sure.
Yeah. Good stuff. Thanks, man.
And it'll make me feel good when I crush his bones in the wrestling match. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
That gave me a fucking boner.
So I do want to mention that I no longer have a Facebook. I'll probably be posting on it just from Instagram whenever I post our episodes on there. So if you do have any questions or comments or suggestions, things like that, I do apologize to the ones I was talking to on Facebook, but send it to our email at brotherscommon.place at gmail.com, or you can contact me through Snapchat or Instagram or Twitter. But yeah, I'm no longer on Facebook, so I probably won't be updating that page at all. Tim and Spence will still be on there, I think. If you send the Brothers Commonplace stuff, they might answer back to you. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, they're still on there. But yeah,
I can kind of answer back to people and stuff.
So alrighty, anything you guys want to mention? But it's the fucking end of the show, end of episode 100. It was a pretty fucked up one. You guys got any comments or anything you want to say about this case before we shut her all down?
Yeah, it's insane. I remember hearing about him because I had a friend that was friends with him at one point in time. But holy crap, I did not realize all that.
Oh shit,
went on.
Yeah, like
that's insane.
I don't actually remember this dude, but I had to have crossed paths with him at some point because he all the places he went to were places we all hung out.
Yeah, I knew somebody that worked with him at a grocery store. I don't know. I feel like a lot of times, I had to have definitely seen him. But I mean, why would you know?
Alrighty, Spence, do you want to bring it all home, brother?
Wow, 100 fucking episodes. To those of you who've listened to all 100 of them, we thank you for going on this journey with us. And for those who are listening for the first time, we hope you'll stick around for the next 100. You can reach us on most social media. We're not so sure about the Facebook page, but we'll try to stay in touch on there. And there's Instagram and Twitter as well. There's Brotherscommon.place at gmail.com. And we're trying to reach the goal of getting into the top 200 comedy podcasts on Apple Podcasts, which used to be iTunes. So if you can subscribe on there, leave us a 5-star review or a rating or whatever. I don't know what they exactly have there. Their reviews and ratings, whatever. Leave us some good stuff on there. Help us boost up in there. But we got some good news last week. They created a new category. You want to talk about this, Kev?
Yeah, so Apple Podcasts now has a true crime category under the actual podcast types. And we switched ours over to there. I mean, we're still in the comedy, but we're also on there. And we were in the top 200 for a little bit. I'm pretty sure we're not there anymore. But it was good while it lasted.
Yeah, we're not in the top 200 anymore because we're fucking number 1.
Right?
Ooh.
Hell yeah, we are.
Yeah, it was good while it lasted. That was fun.
And we are still crushing in countries such as, what was it, Venezuela?
Oh, yeah, let's... I'll look real quick and see what's up.
I hear it's us and then just a podcast of a guy watching paint dry. But we're winning. We're winning.
Don't bring up my podcast like that.
Old rerun recordings of Fidel Castro talking.
Holy shit.
It's a podcast of my dad trying to explain what Operation Northwoods is.
Wait, what the fuck is that?
Oh, yeah. We dropped way out of the top 200.
Don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah, but with Andrew back, we'll be number 1 again.
Yeah.
They're gonna tear down Shawn Grate's house, put up a parking lot.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't it always seem that you can't go see the house because it's gone. Don't blame us. Blame that bastard, Sean.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But if you stand in the grass, you can see the parking lot.
Pop, pop, pop.
Oh, man. Also, we have a YouTube channel now. I try to upload the podcast. It usually is up there same day as the MP3 feed, maybe a day later. And we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers on there, so be sure to subscribe on YouTube and spread it around if that's the way you like to get podcasts. We have a threadless store where you can buy all kinds of cool Brothers Commonplace swag.
Ooh, swag.
And then the cream of the crop, you can support us on Patreon for the $1 level or the $5 level. And you get all kinds of cool perks. Like, we will hand carve a marble statue of you.
Yes.
If you subscribe at the $4.99 level.
$4.99.
You can get shit for $5. It has to be $4.99.
Now, it will be marble cheese, but for the $500 level, maybe a marble statue.
So our link to Patreon, because we've had people ask, and I guess I never even think about mentioning it, but it's patreon.com/thebrotherscommonplace. And yeah, like Spence said, you can sign up for either $1 or $5 a month. Either way, I'm going to send you some stickers, and then you also get bonus episodes. And we try to do 2 to 4 bonus episodes a month. I know we didn't do one last month. Things were a little hectic. Last week. Things were a little hectic. But we did record a short one. I got to edit that and put it up. And then sometime in the next 2 weeks, or this week or next week, we're going to record a bonus episode that we're just going to release for everyone. It's just a little Q&A and a little question episode. Shouldn't be too long, but it could be pretty fun. But I just want to say thank you to everyone that is listening, sharing, subscribing. It really helps us out. It means a lot to us. And if you listen this far, then you must be a real big fan of the show, and we love you more than we love everyone else that listens. And thank you for sharing and just being super awesome and super rad. Real quick, shout out to JD Simpleton on Twitter. Yeah, he's just a cool dude. He always sends us funny stuff to laugh at on Twitter and makes jokes and gets our humor. So just want to say thank you to him and happy early birthday to him. He mentioned, because in a long episode a long time ago, we mentioned a joke about a shower curtain on Patreon where it just has all of our dicks on it. And he's like, yeah, I don't know if I dreamt that or not, but I'm definitely going to need to order one of those. I said we'd have it custom made, so.
Tell him to get out his fucking magnifying glass if he wants to see the dicks, though.
Yeah. He's like, what the hell? It's just a plain shower curtain.
Yeah.
We're like, no,
So,
it has all of our dicks on it.
So yeah, hopefully somebody else gets him a NASA fucking telescope so he can see these fucking things.
You can either look up at the moon and see, holy shit, we did leave behind some equipment. We did land there. Or you can aim it at the shower curtain and see our dicks. So
It actually is be easier just to find fucking new planets, honestly. Might as well just look in the sky.
yeah. So alrighty, Timmy, what do you got, brother?
Kind of the same. Just, thanks everybody that's been listening. Even if you're a new listener, go back and check the other episodes out. There's some good ones in there. You'll get really used to just Andrew. Like, you'll fucking just learn just everything about Andrew. Imagine if this was somebody's first episode. But yeah, thanks for following along with us. We're not really all that funny, so I don't know why you have, but yeah, appreciate it.
It's because it's Stockholm Syndrome. They're stuck with us because they depend on us.
Fuck yeah.
So, we got two boys. The words of wisdom actually originated with Andrew. That used to be his end of the episode bit, and then Tooth started taking over. So, I'm kind of hoping for episode 100, we get some words of wisdom from both of y'all.
Oh, fuck, dude. I'm so turned on right now.
Is that going to happen? Andrew, do you got some words of wisdom for us, brother?
I've been trying to think, but I think I ruined it in the beginning with Rico Harris, so I've been trying to think of another one.
All right, dude. Just bounce off the Tooths, man.
I'll let Tooth go first, man. I might be able to swindle something out of my nugget brain.
Oh, hell yeah.
Me and Andrew used to work for a fucking plumage sewage company where we would show up, waste time on the clock, pretend to work, not fix anything, not bring any equipment with us. And after they complain, we would say, hey, we didn't bring anything, except dick.
No, come on.
And we'd show our dicks at them and wag them as we drive off.
Fuck
Thanks
yeah.
for the money, you idiots.
Septic.
Oh man.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know if I can bounce off that one. I'm sorry,
that
guys.
was kind of hard to bounce off of.
It's pretty good. I mean, it was good, but like I said, my intro I think took all the brain power. I've been thinking.
Rico Hair, which was the same thing you used the last time you were on the show.
Hey, come on, that was a while ago, Kev. You forgot.
All right, Andrew, is there anything else? Anything else you want to mention to close the show out? It's
good to be back for the 100th episode. I don't know how often it might be another 100 episodes before I get my booty back on here, but it was good.
Shit, last
time
time
worked out that I could actually come out and do it.
Yeah.
The last time when Andrew was on the podcast, like, I'll never forget it because that was the day that the Challenger blew up.
Oh God.
No, actually, Timmy, you're wrong because I think the last time I was actually on the podcast is I was reading the newspaper and they were talking about the shot heard around the world.
Alrighty, I guess we'll shut her down. Thank you everyone for listening. Be good.
Stay safe.
Laugh in the dark stuff.
Hashtag Wildman.
Oh, baby.
Oh,
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And hashtag Woman.
Oh, I like that.
Shit.
Wild woman, I mean.
Hashtag boy pussy.
Hashtag thank you, Mark. Hashtag episode 100.
Fuck yeah, we couldn't have done it without Mark.
Hashtag T-Bro Nutsack.
Oh, fucking hashtag Mel Hall of Fame for this idiot.
Oh, definitely.
Hashtag Wild Woman Jane Doe.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's us. We can't make a Hall of Fame for him because it'd be great Hall of Fame and then it just sounds good.
Yeah.
Like we can't. Yeah, we can't make one for him, so it still has to be Mel Hall.
Yeah. Hashtag the Wildman, Australian Daniel.
Oh fuck yeah,
Fuck
dude.
it. Hell
His
yeah,
Snapchats are the
Australian.
shit.
Dude, they're so fucking good. I love all the snaps that Australian Daniel sends to us.
Yeah, I'm always excited about him.
Dude, he literally is proof that Australians are badass motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
everybody there could
Very
kick my
true.
newborn babies there could kick my ass.
Also, we'll give a shout out to Australian Kate. She's a super cool girl from Australia and also tells me a bunch of crazy shit that goes on over there. So shout out to her as well. Australia,
yeah,
all of our
Kate.
Australian listeners are so fucking kind and badass.
How was it? Was it kissing Matthew Fox, Kate?
Dude, Matthew Fox is a piece of shit.
I kind of liked him in the movie. What was that called?
Speed Racer?
Bone Tomahawk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Didn't Matthew Fox like beat up his girlfriend or something?
I don't fucking know. No, that was Garth Brooks.
Yeah, right, dude. Beat her up with... No, that was Chris Gaines. He's like, hey, Chris Gaines, thanks for taking the fall, dude.
Yeah, that's right. They've taken the fall.
All right. Anything else before we shut it down?
I don't think so.
All righty.
I got one last thing. Hashtag Shawn Plate.
Oh, shit.
Okay. All right. All right. We're ending it there.
All right.
Today's show was brought to you by SAP. Who am I and how am I feeling? I'm Clive Owen and I'm feeling great, thanks. How about you? You feeling happy? A little angry? People have so many feelings, millions of them. But what if businesses could really understand all of those feelings and then act on them to make their customers feel better? It's a thing. It's SAP Experience Management, and it's here. Because the future of business has feelings. And I've got a feeling we're all going to like it. Go to sap.com/xm to learn more.